Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Mike Nierychlo Online, sharing my love for people, wine, food, and all things made passionately. So today's show I've got John, is it Clerides? Clerides,
yep.
The owner of Marquis Wine Cellars. And you guys said you've got a subtitle for Marquis Wine Cellars?
Our passion, your enjoyment.
Awesome. That's great. So John, welcome here.
Thanks, man. Pleasure. I love it.
Appreciate you coming by. Welcome to the garage, the wine garage.
This is great. You know, when I first came in, I said in the 25 years I've been in the business, none of the big magazines have ever written anything about Marquis or about anything. They have always bitched about privatization, yada. And there's this group of young people, right? 25, 26. Using video blogging,
social media,
and they're interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you guys have a passion for it, and it's not the old school fat cats. I love it. It's great.
Well, we love it. Wine is supposed to be a good time. It's not supposed to be snobby or pretentious. You're supposed to get some friends, get family, get a good bottle of wine, and enjoy your evening. That's what it's all about.
You know what? That's how friendships are made.
Yeah.
Breaking some bread, $10, $100, anything in between, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Get a bottle of wine out and enjoy it. And listen, I've been to all the pretend. I go to Bordeaux every year and Oprion, and I play that game too.
Well, they have their place, of course.
Yeah. I enjoy this because it introduces wine to a people who think it's all snobby.
Yeah.
And any business can have its snobs. Can have car snobs, guys. Old-time dragsters that, if you want to learn about that, or carpentry, or law business,
whatever.
They all have it.
Yeah.
Just the wine business seems to transcend that English, arrogant pretense.
Yeah.
And people go, I drink beer.
I mean, that's the thing, again, at the show, there's beer on the show, beer on the rocks. Give me a Coors Light and a group of friends, whatever, I'll still enjoy it with the rest of people. People walk into a liquor store nowadays, as like at your store, I'm sure you see it all the time, big BC liquor stores, they're intimidated to death. They walk in just like, where do I start? They grab the shiniest label that they've seen on a commercial 10 times and they leave really quick.
They take the path of least resistance. There's a couple of things that several things that I've observed over the years. And walking in, I get confused. If I walk into a liquor store in France or in Italy or in the United States and I see wines I don't get. I don't see. Fortunately, I know how to read the label. I go, what? And I'll buy it. This looks interesting. But the way stores, and I'm guilty of it, and we don't have the room, and I'm going to remodel and change it. The way stores are laid out are not consumer friendly, and I don't want to give up what I'm going to do, but there's certain ways that I've observed people buy wine, and I'm going to try and address that.
Well, there's a few new stores I've seen out there, a couple new concepts I've seen, which I think is cool. We can talk more about this off camera, but food pairing titles. Like I've seen, they have if you're having chicken tonight, here's some wines that will work. That's brilliant. People can, I'm having chicken. Okay, I'm going there, right? Yeah. And they'll try something they haven't tried. Try new things. There's so many new wines out there to try. I mean,
I look at it from the customers. Every single bottle of wine I bring in is based on, we're advocates for the consumers, not advocates for the agents.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't care if an importer brings me something that he thinks is good. If I think it's crappy, I ain't bringing it in.
Exactly.
I'm an advocate for the customer. I've always run my store that way, and I always will.
Well, the bottom line, just like wine, is the bottom line is people. It's about your client is who matters. Your customer, the person walking in your front door, that's who matters. If you give them a hug, you're going to sell more wine to them. It's about the customer service.
Never bullshit them.
No, of course not.
Never.
No,
if you don't have it, send them someplace else. If you don't know, get on the internet.
Yeah.
Open up a book.
Yeah.
Tell them you don't know.
Yeah. That's one thing Canada's kind of missing out on, I learned that about New Zealand really well at the festival. They're very buddy-buddy. Like, the whole continent seems like they have this sport team spirit.
Yeah.
If one rep doesn't rep that wine, they'll still talk your ear off about another wine from a different area. I mean, camaraderie right there just makes your mark.
Exactly. Right? They people figure that out.
Yeah.
And they go, this guy's authentic. Right?
Yeah,
this guy's real. And that's a lot of stuff, and that's what we try to do anyway with the wines we bring in and the people we hire, and that's just always been my philosophy.
Keep it real.
I remember getting in the business. The best example, I was learning about wine. This was 20 odd years ago. I bought a couple of cases of wine based on a score from the Wine Spectator, 90 points. And this was just $30 a bottle. And I opened it up and I go, oh, this stuff's not very good. So I took it to, I won't say his name, local, at the time, wine expert. He goes, give it time, give it time. I said, you know what? This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's the day I learned to judge my own opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I ended up selling it. People bought it based on the score.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the last time I listened to the experts.
Yeah, exactly. Scores are so subjective. I mean, I score on my show, but I'm scoring just based on quality, and it's my opinion, right?
Yep.
It's just, again, if you like it, drink it.
Absolutely.
That's what you guys should have on the bottom of your sign, like, keeping it real. Marquis, keeping it real.
Keeping it real. It's not bad. I'm always trying to think of a tagline. I haven't come up with one.
Taglines are tricky.
They are tricky.
They are tricky. So anyway, we've talked enough about
well, absolutely.
We can drink some. What got you into wine? Like,
quickly.
You've been doing it for a while.
He's
been around since
86.
86, yeah.
I'm sitting at the breakfast table with my dad in January '86.
Mm-hmm.
He's reading the newspaper. I'm reading the sports scores. He sees an article about Mark Anthony Group, Mission Hill, allowed to open off-site wine shops. They're selling franchises for $10,000. He goes,
wow. I wish I was around in '86.
I don't know. Were you born?
Yeah, I was born. I was born.
He goes, hey, because he's Greek. He goes, hey, son. He goes, this looks like. What do you think? I goes, good idea.
What's your background? Are you?
Ethnic-wise? My dad's from Cyprus, my mom's from Greece.
Oh, okay.
It's a small island called Skopelos.
Yeah.
For all of those people that have seen the movie Mamma Mia, that's the island it was filmed on. It's called Skopelos. It's what you expect out of a Greek island. There's no airport. You have to get there by a ferry.
That's right. Yeah.
The beaches are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Transportation's not too good. You should probably have a car, a taxi driver. But the taxi driver that picked us up lived in Vancouver. The girl at the hotel,
awesome.
her brother, Greek,
her
brother, obviously, owned a restaurant, of course, in Prince George.
Yeah.
And she went to school in Kelowna. Anyway.
So this is where we get John's energy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry.
No problem.
So anyway, I read an article in the paper, so I phoned them up.
Mm-hmm.
That was during Expo. Missed all of Expo because of the bureaucracy and the liquor board, liquor licensing, what's new. And started selling one BC wine from one BC winery. Now, at that time, Mission Hill had their private reserve stuff.
Yep.
None of it was BC.
No.
It was Washington, Oregon, and California. Private reserves. Anyway, Gap and Free Trade came in. We're grandfathered and we're allowed to carry imported wines. And I said to myself, if I'm going to be different, and I listened to everybody complain about the liquor board, if I'm going to be different, I got to source my own stuff. And so that's what I started doing.
Yeah. Well, the rest of the world's been doing it for so many years. So what do we got here? What are you pouring for us today?
Domaine, a little Sauvignon.
Yeah.
From Domaine Octavie, 2008, from Loire Valley.
So everybody see the bottle here. There we go. That's the one.
So my palate was getting a little dry. So it sells for about $20. Beautiful earthy aromatics. Fresh.
Extremely fresh.
Isn't that, it's zippy. It's lively.
Very zippy. Yeah.
No oak. It's Luc Raisonné, as the French call it, which is it's they do what's necessary to keep the vines healthy.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of rot in the vineyard. They have to obviously do something to stop from losing the crop, but it's it's sustainable.
It's fresh, clean, crisp. So this you got this with breakfast. This would wake you up in the morning.
Pour it on your oatmeal.
Yeah.
Put it on your sugar snacks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got, the minerality coming through is just like, it's clean. It's
slaty, chalky soil.
Fresh creek running by you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what, but because it doesn't have a recognizable name.
Yeah.
I go, I don't know. What can I say? We try to bring in, real wines, flavorful. I think it's great. Mm-hmm. Alcohol's not
Forget
huge.
spitting that.
12.5.
See, this is one of those wines, when you put it in your mouth, every part of your palate just goes, thank you. Like, it's like, you're just satisfied of it.
Drink it young. Within the first year, this is not a wine you keep in your cellar for 2 or 3 years. It'll
and it's under cork as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's, what's the price point of this one?
$20.
20. Okay. That's just awesome. Like, it's hard to find local wines for that price with that quality. Yeah, it's really
you have to remember something about local wine. Look, the cost of infrastructure in Europe is much lower. Wineries have been handed down to generation. So all they have to do is improve the equipment when it runs out. The vines are already there. They've been there for centuries.
Exactly. Yeah.
They've had, and so they don't have to plant a vineyard. Maybe if there's some vines that die, they have to, but they don't have to plant. They don't have
to buy the land.
They don't have to buy the land. It's already there.
Yeah.
So as a result, they can focus on making great wine at a very, very reasonable low cost.
Well, and it's low enough that we can get it over here, and I mean, you're still going to make a buck on it, but it's still reasonably priced. Like it's.
How can you? I mean, how can you go wrong with this wine?
Yeah.
Complete antithesis of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. This to me is what Sauvignon should be.
This is beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great. Anyway, let's move on.
This doesn't have that. I mean, like you said, typical New Zealand. It doesn't have that vegetal side to it either. It's got this clean, crisp, almost slightly tropical, lemon, fresh, like.
Oh, the zippy gummy, not gummy bear, but lemony. Remember those lemony fresh.
Jolly Rancher.
Jolly
Rancher. Yeah, something like that. Like,
love the stuff. Anyway, I think it's great.
Yeah.
You like it?
I like it a lot. This would be beautiful. This would pair nice. This is nice. This you could just sip on your own all day. It's so good. Now, these are, I'm assuming, just prime examples of what people would find at Marquis as well. This is, like you said, something that people are going to like, that they're not going to break the bank on.
People work hard for their money, man.
It's true. They all have to.
Taxes are high on wine. And I want to make sure that I get the biggest bang. I get the biggest bang, and you guys get the biggest bang for the buck. I always, like I said, I'm always an advocate for the customer.
Like neat honeyed melon or something to it too.
Honeydew.
Yeah, very honeydew. Like
what reminds me, honeydew. When I get home, honey, I gotta move the furniture to do painting.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Yeah.
So this is now. I have not been.
Rinse my glass a little bit. That's all right.
Sure. That's mine. Now I've been to Ribera. This is a domain result. It's a Ribera del Duero. It's Tinto Fino.
Okay.
I've been to Ribera del Duero. It's about 2004, 2005. I have not been to this winery, but I tasted it. Tasted it at a wine show.
Yeah.
In Barcelona.
That one as well. You tasted this at a Barcelona wine show?
Yeah, there's a wine show held every 2 years called Alimentaria, and it's in Barcelona, which is not such a bad place to go for a wine show.
Wouldn't complain, no.
It's just the organization of the Spanish. It's bad. Anyway. Real.
That's bright.
Yeah.
What would you call it? There's almost like, just like bright, fresh, almost like strawberry, raspberry coming through, something like that.
Most New World wines have this elevated fruit and richness. Sometimes the high alcohol, people confuse that with character, flavor, and taste. High alcohol is glycerin, which one numbs your palate. That's why when you've been drinking, you don't feel the cold or anything.
Yeah.
And it also coats your palate, thinking that's flavor, and that's no. It's not. It's not. And so I like to have. You can have a red wine that's 14.5, 15, but it's got so much fruit, so much structure. You don't taste the alcohol.
Yeah.
But then you get wines that are so whacked out that you go, man, this is like drinking whiskey in the middle of the desert. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And this is, it's got some earthiness. This is just
it's got like this beautiful, like almost charcoal going on, a little bit of like prosciutto or something like that. Nice cured meat.
Prosciutto. What's that salty? Not prosciutto. Prosciutto. No.
It's in there. Dig.
No, I can't think of it. I'll think of it in a second.
Some sort of cured meat, anyway, like something like that.
For those of you who've been to Spain, Spain love their meat. They love their jamon. Their jamon, you go. I was in the Barcelona airport. They got the big leg of
this is dangerous, John. I haven't had lunch yet.
Yeah, I mean, big jamon. 400 euros. I can just see this. Literally, the leg over my shoulder coming into Canada Customs. Anything to declare? Nope. Anyway, but they're salty. Yeah. They're salty and they're briny, and the wines reflect that because. They thirst quench. They quench that salty. When you eat the meat, you get thirsty. Yeah. It's like coffee and a cookie. Yeah. Right. Or
totally.
And that's what these wines do.
Well, the meat is raised on the same land the wines made half the time, so of course they're gonna.
Yeah. So it's made to complement their cuisine.
It's like the nose has so many layers to it too. It's just it keeps going.
But it's delicate and bright on the palate, and you go. I'm not left with any heaviness. It's $28.
Totally. $28 for that. the length on this is just, and it's got this clean, smooth mellow length that just, it lingers, it lasts as it goes down. It's slow and enjoyable.
It's refreshing.
And it's not biting you with the alcohol. It's got a bit of nice acidity to it that just keeps it clean and fresh.
I call it salinity and savoriness. I mean, you know, when you have something that wets your palate, and you want that, like a great dessert, you want to eat more and more. A great meal, you want to eat more and more of it.
Oh, totally.
That's what
you just want more.
These wines
savoriness makes you crave it.
Yeah. And you know, you can drink half a bottle and or 2 glasses, and you go, I feel fine. You know, you're not whacked out. You know,
I like this one. I'm really impressed with this one. That's for sure.
They're fun. Look at wine. Look, wine is fun. It's about getting together with friends. It's a social icebreaker. You know, you can spin it any way you want. You can see for business or whatever. At the end of the day, look, I didn't meet you. How did I meet you? Vino.
Exactly. Yeah. First time we met was at a tasting one evening.
At the store, right?
At
the store, you came. I didn't know you. I invited you. I did the social bloggers thing. I had all these great young people in there.
One evening,
Yeah, it was fun, but how did wine?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, and then
and food.
Wine and food,
and people.
But it brings people together. Think about everybody out there who's had great meals with people that you love, people that you like.
Yeah.
Always a good bottle of wine.
And you develop a relationship off that. I mean, well, try picturing yourself going into a room of a party with no wine and no food. Just people. Exactly. You're going to stand around and be awkward all evening. As soon as wine gets involved and some food, everybody just...
It's an icebreaker. You can talk about the wine, where it's from, the history of a region. Exactly. What wine does, what I'd like to get people to think about is not only the wine, but who the person was that grew it, the history of the family, and what it does is it opens windows, it opens doors to discovery, not only about wine, but a new country.
Well, my philosophy of the show, sharing my love for people, wine, food, blah, blah, blah. When I say people, just like you're just saying, you ever on a bus or a SkyTrain or a train, you look around, there's people all around your stadium, what have you. Everybody has a story.
Yep.
They all matter. Yep. Everybody's got, and it's so, as complex as wine is, the people around you, the complexity is
huge.
Hey, Uncle so-and-so, what did he do? What's your history? What's like...
I'm going to tell you one of the great stories of the wine business, and I know this video is going to go on for 20 minutes.
Carry it on.
Anyway,
people are going to
I used to go, I love this story. I've met so many cool people, but the one that stands out, I still go to Napa Valley, and I used to go on top of Hall Mountain. There was a winery I used to bring called Lambourne Family Vineyards. It was run by a guy called Bob Lambourne.
Okay.
Bob was this crusty old guy, but fun guy.
Well, those are the cool winemakers.
But wait, his history was even better.
All right.
Well, short guy, stoic, good man. He used to be a photographer for Stars and Stripes magazine, which is the U.S. Army's and Navy's in-house newspaper.
Yeah.
He was on the beach in Anzio. He was in Sicily. He had pictures, and he lost them all in the Oakland fire.
Oh crap!
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was a photographer. In the early '60s, he gets a phone call from this company in the United States called the CIA.
So I've heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard of them too. And he says, you got to remember Bob. He comes from that World War II generation. So when your country comes calling, he says he does his job.
He does his job, yeah.
And he says, we've got a problem on the university campuses. He says, you got to go and photograph these people. Okay. So he did.
Yeah.
And then, as things changed, of course, he began to question it. But anyway, that led, and he became a private investigator. Mm-hmm. Now, for those of you old enough to remember who Patty Hearst was.
I know who Patty Hearst is.
Patty Hearst, okay.
Have you been to the Hearst Castle?
Oh, I love it there.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Anyway, Patty Hearst, he was the Hearst family's personal private investigator. Oh. And when they got her from the Symbionese liberation movement, dropped him at his house as a safe house to debug her, just to keep her away.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we never talked about wine. We talked about conspiracy and JFK and all that stuff. And I obviously want to get... This guy was in the know, and he was the coolest dude.
Oh, for sure.
And unfortunately, he passed away, and I several years ago. But those are the type of people that you meet in the wine business.
Because of wine, you would have never met him otherwise. You would have never met him otherwise.
He was a great guy. Yeah. What can I say? Who else have I met that is stuck in me? George Hendry from Hendry Wines in Napa Valley. Been in Napa Valley since 1933. He builds cyclotrons.
Cyclotrons.
particle accelerators.
Yeah.
All right, he works on Triumph, but he's got a vineyard called Henry Ranch.
Yeah.
His grapes used to be sold to a couple of people, Mondavi for the private reserve cab and for Opus, and he started making his own wine about 10 or 11 years ago. Had Bob Mueller, who was the first winemaker for Opus, help him. George is a really bright guy, and so is his nephew Mike Henry. And now they make wine, and they make really good Napa wine. So, I mean, I feel actually kind of dumb talking to him because I can only talk about wine to him. I can't talk about anything else. How's business? How's the particle accelerator business, George? I don't know.
Cool.
You know, just cool people that are out there.
Yeah.
They all have a story.
Yeah. Well, like
and this is the unifier.
It ties people together, brings them together.
Yeah.
Well, I had this conversation with another lady this morning. I was pretty anti-social networking because I love to meet people face to face. As soon as I discovered social media or social networking, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, combined with people and wine, when you get to meet these people and hang out with them for an evening, like Marquis had, he put it up on the internet. Come out, these guys, have an evening with us, we'll taste some wine. I would have never met these people otherwise.
Never.
But
Ever,
because
ever,
of
ever.
wine, social media, that's what it's all about. And it's about the people. That's what it comes down to.
All about the people.
Absolutely. And relationships and having a great time.
You know what? It's kind of, I was one of those jaded old guys in the wine business.
Yeah.
And I said this year I'm going to learn social media. And it's really rejuvenated me because I was selling or whatever you want to do to the same group of people.
Yeah.
It was the same people. At all occasions, this is driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And so I go, where do all these people come from?
Yeah.
Wine and food blogs, da-da-da-da-da. It's incredible.
Oh, it opens the envelope. It just broadens your horizon.
Yeah, and now I have to learn. I mean, I'm okay with computers, but I gotta learn all that, which is cool, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it can be a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
You gotta find a balance too, though, because you can nerd out and just lose yourself in the
Oh,
people.
absolutely. But this is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Tasting great wine, meeting people, discovery.
Exactly.
It's the social unifier.
Well, you and I would have never met otherwise. What reason would we have had to meet?
A 26-year-old with a 50-year-old.
Exactly.
And cars.
He's saying he's 50, but he's doesn't.
I am
like
50.
50.
Yeah.
Too much energy.
Yeah, way too much energy.
Yeah.
I just played hockey this morning too.
Absolutely. That's great. Oh, that's cool. Well, and you too
Yeah.
can meet us. John, shoot comments, shoot emails. That's my favorite thing. When you guys comment on this video. I mean, it keeps me going. It's like, oh, people are watching. They're excited about what we're doing. Shoot John an email at Marquis. I'm going to have the link right below the video as well. And you can click on it. They got directions. You guys sell wine online too.
Yeah, we have full e-commerce.
Store.
Yeah, we ship all around BC.
Yeah, I'll link below for that so you guys can have a look. Go meet John. Walk into Marquis, shake his hand, give him a hug for crying out loud, and just taste some wine with him. Hang out.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching today. Anything you want to add?
No, I just everybody that's learning about wine on social media, just keep doing it. There's a ton of authentic information out there, not clouded by how do I put this diplomatically? Jaded printed journalists. How about that?
That works.
Okay.
I shake your hand for that one. Keep that one up.
Pleasure.
Cool. Thank you so much for watching today. Check out Marquis Wine Cellars, and we'll see you on the next episode.